It's been an interesting week. I just kind of collected some things here that just would come to me, and I would see in my teachers who reached out and gave me some words of encouragement and inspiration. But it's just been. This is where, as one of my teachers, Jokai Roshi, many of you know, our guiding teacher here, many years ago, when not too many years ago, I guess 4 years ago, when I moved in with my now wife and our teenage son, I had been a bachelor for so long, and now I had to add water, and you have a teenager, dealing with that. And I would tell him about it, and I would share how my life changed, and I wasn't doing a lot of formal practice like I was used to on my own, kind of living like a yogi. Now I had a family, now I had things to take care of, and my wife saying, "You don't practice as much as you used to. I would see you practice for a couple hours a day, that was your routine." And I said, "Yeah, but this is my practice now. Life, a teenager, taking care of a household. This is now my formal practice. There was no, I wish I could sit there and ring the bell on the door, Jay, and life. Everything I would say. Clean your room. That was the mantra. That was the new mantra. Stop slamming doors. The new mantra. And he was my teacher. He was my guru, just showing me how to work with what arises. And I shared this with Roshi, with Jokai one time, and he said that this is where the rubber meets the road. So this is where we train, right here. Train at home in the morning on our cushion. The right spot, right angle, this and that, right chair, right cushion. This one's too firm, this one's too... Okay, train here. But out in the world, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where our practice becomes actualized. Our life, how are we working with what arises? One of the quotes that I wrote down from a Tibetan master, Dzigar Kongtrul Rinpoche, he says, "The mark of a true practitioner is not what arises in your life and mind, but how you work with what arises." How we work with what arises. The third patriarch, I believe, Chan, had a song that he wrote in the first line. I believe it was the first line. It said, "The great way is not difficult, as long as you don't pick and choose. I like this, I don't like that. This, yes, that, no. We didn't choose this, right? But it's what arises, so I work with it. I work with it every moment. Is it painful? Yes. Yes. But the Buddha said this, right? There is suffering. And not what arises. The suffering is the mind, how we're relating with this, how we're working with this. There is where the suffering. The event is the event. Pain is pain. Suffering, optional. It's optional. It really is. Some of you, I believe, have experienced this and really just, yes, it sucks. But not that much. Now here's some ice cream in front of me. We were having dinner last night, meeting these the chef, he was sushi, and he was from Thailand. And we were just talking, and he made me he goes, "I'll make you something from our country." And he brought a little leaf and some stuff in there, brought it to me. And he said, and I asked my wife, what did he say that was? He goes, pork. Like, oh. She goes, just tell him you don't eat it. You should say you don't eat meat. I'm like, what for? The great way is not difficult. If you don't pick and choose. That's an offering. I ate it. One taste. We also say in the Dharma, everything is of one taste. Empty. I don't eat pork. If I say I don't eat pork, I'm eating pork. I don't eat meat. I'm eating meat. Thinking. Too much thinking, you know. So that's what I talk. Some of you have attended my talks, and I talk a lot about bodhicitta. That's an open heart, open mind. You know, just open, be open, be open. I won't order a pork taco, but if somebody offers it to me, I'm not home. You know. So just as my years of practice, that's where the rubber meets the road. Now, what are you going to do? Just be open. Yeah. My son, you know, when we were in a hotel, so it's the end of the world. Kind of like in a teenage, you know, not like, oh, kind of in a teenage, just like, you know, teenage, kind of unfiltered, right? It's the end of the world. And I said, it's the end of the world. I said, yeah, it's the end of that world. Yeah. Now the beginning of a new world. I told him, and every moment is a new world. The end of a world, beginning of a new world. Last night, you know, we just moved into this place that we got, again, very, very blessed a few days ago. We're taking care of things, my wife and I, just, what do we need, this and that. Really focused on him, just getting his room together, getting his life in order, more as much, you know, we can, but just making it as normal as we can for him. Parents, is a natural bodhisattva, even though he's my stepson, but he's been with me for 7, 8 years that I've known him, you know. So he's my son. I don't even say stepson. It's just another stupid label, right? I just say son. If somebody inquires, then I'll give you more details. But he's my son. And I see this just to help him, get him, I don't care what I have. Get my son clothes. If you want to help, get him some clothes. You need a mattress, get his life. And he's got pink eye now too, so he's got like a swollen eye, looked like he went 15 rounds with Joe Frazier, you know. And he wanted to come home last night, and we're all like, it's not ready yet, your mattress is here, but you know, why don't you, no, I want to come home. Like, so he came home, got all his, you know, his Xbox, everything, and got him set up. In the middle of the night, about 12:30, I hear this banging and slamming and kind of crying, and I woke up and I'm like, what's going on? You know, I thought somebody broke into the house. I go in there, and he comes out of his room crying. He's like, oh, my phone won't charge. I can't find any water. It's like, it's just like his world was collapsing. And I just wanted to help. Like a mist in the back of my mind was the normal habit of, I told you not to come tonight, you were not ready. It's just like, what are you doing smacking stuff around? You know, that was like in the back, like a mist. But what was stronger? How can I help? What do you need? Okay, 1, water. I went downstairs, found some water. I even just came to mind that he doesn't like room temperature water, so I looked in the refrigerator, 1 bottle of water in there, grabbed it, took it up, gave it to him. He's like, thank you, crying. I go, let me see your charger. I plugged it in, and it worked. His phone was so dead that he didn't realize that it needed to charge a little bit. So it's charging, look, charge it. Okay, thank you. And then I went to bed, lay down, and I started crying. Because in his confusion, everyone who's going through this devastation right now, I just saw everyone in my son's face and what he was going through. And I just wanted to help. That's cool, huh? Just see that bodhicitta, it expanded. I wasn't just my son, it was like everyone. Started here, then it's expanded. Everyone was in my son's face in that just frustration, of what's going on, my life's upside down. So let's get it back together. Let's get it back up, bright side. And he was good. Practice, because of practice, because of this, because of sitting. And whatever comes to mind, don't pick and choose. Don't stick. And then just let it happen. We don't have to make anything happen. One of my teachers also told me. We don't have to make things happen. Let it happen. We don't have to make anything happen. Let it happen. We don't have to make, when's practice going to, now what? When am I going to wake up? When am I going to be enlightened? We're trying to make it happen. So let it happen. Get out of the way. So my practice is just, I get out of the way and let it happen. What happened? That little subtle complaining in the back that was kind of like a miss in the back of the old ways that my mind would work. I don't know, anybody here remember cassette tapes? For the young folks here, there were these little cassette tapes that you'd record, You'd buy music on there, like an album or a CD, or some of you are probably going, what's a CD? But it was music, right? And then if you bought a blank cassette, you would record something on it, right? And then you would record over that. Do you remember that? You used to record over that. And when a song would end, in between you'd hear like the faint song that was there before. This is what it felt like. I'm recording something else over that. Helpful, beneficial, a different way of relating with life, working with what arises. And I notice that in the background, that old song, that old complaining song. So practice works, man. Believe me. But don't make it work. Let it work. Don't do the practice. Let the practice do you. One of my teachers wrote me this. She said, a student asked me, is there freedom in impermanence? I said, yes, if there's no resistance. And she told me, you opted out. You opted for joy and freedom. Such good training for death. The end of the world. Preparing. This is what what my teachers have also shared too. What is dharma? What are we doing this with? We're preparing for death. The moment of death. And we think of it as like far away, but it's right now. This moment is dying and a new death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth. Another teacher of mine, Lama Soni, he wrote me this. He said, the body of truth is often depicted as surrounded by blazing flames of wisdom, both symbolically and literally sometimes. And he shared this haiku with me by Mizuta Masahide, which was a Zen master and a samurai. He wrote this haiku when his place caught fire. He said, "Barn has burnt down. Now I can see the moon. Barn has burned down. Now I can see the moon." That's the bright side, we say, right? It's that cliche. Look at the bright side. Oh, shut up. But there is. It's up to us. We don't have to make a bright side. Just let it. It's there. Always. Right? So many things happening amongst all this. People angry, blaming, complaining, conspiracies, red, blue, your fault, your fault. I don't ignore it, but it's like, I don't rest my bones there. Other things to take care of. All other beings to take care of. Taking care of my son is taking care of all beings. Taking care of yourself is taking care of all beings if there's no clinging. And I shared that with a friend, I said, yeah, there's this dark side of life, this dark side of humanity that we're seeing right now. But there's also a much brighter side. If you look at everyone just coming together and helping each other out. Not just in this little world here, but just expanding. You see communities helping each other in however way they can, That's overwhelming for me. Not the event. The event's like, okay, let's get busy. But what's overwhelming is the love and support, and kindness, and generosity. People have just offered my family and I and everyone that we see. I've been getting so much help and I've been pushing it along. Use what I need. And pushing it along, passing it along to others. Why? Practice. That's what we do here at Longbeach Meditation every Sunday. The Buddha, I don't know if I shared, or somebody might see. I use Instagram kind of like a blog just to post what's going on. The Buddha came home. Did you guys see the Buddha? He's home. He's a suntan Buddha now. Looks like he just came back from Kauai or something. And he's a little smoky, so I call him Smokey the Buddha. Smokey the Buddha. Can't bring him in the house. I haven't been up to my place yet, but my neighbor who lived in front, his sister's a Pasadena police officer, so he was able to sneak up there with her, trying to bring me. But he said, I can't. A couple of days ago, he said, I'm going to go up there. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. You can't come with me. It's just, I go, no worries. It's just like in time. Because, but I'm going to get your Buddha. I'm going to get the Buddha for you. I said, okay. And I was thinking, wow, what an opportunity for him to generate merit, accumulate merit, positive energy, positive vibes, whatever you want to call it. But it's just this in the stream of mind. What a way! He's recording over an old recording. He was really determined to get the Buddha. So sad for us that we lost it. We lived behind him. We had a back house. He was in the front. Our house was destroyed, and his didn't burn. But I think it's uninhabitable, they say, for the time being. So he got it, And I was at the post office getting the mail, so many people, and getting their mail, and he texted me, he said, I got the Buddha. Where can we take him to you? I said, it's okay, I'm up here in the area, I'll stop by and pick him up. He'll help me out, I can carpool, sit him in the passenger side. So I got him, Oh, and then he texted me, he's like, he's really full of smoky and, a lot of soot, you shouldn't bring him in the house. He's like, is it okay if I wash him, I said, yeah, go for it. There's even a tradition, a ceremony called bathing the Buddha. Is you guys familiar with that? Bathing of the Buddha. Yeah, look it up. So I sent him a link to that. And again, I thought, wow, what a nice opportunity for them, him, his wife, and their sons, to accumulate that merit, bathing the Buddha. And he bathed them, and he sent me videos. They were so sweet. They knew what it meant for me. They knew I was a dharma practitioner, and they were so caring. And I thought, wow, look at that opportunity. Oh, that's such a bad, horrible experience. Really? It depends. It's bad. It depends. It's good. For them to have that opportunity, to make a connection with the Dharma, the Buddha's teachings. And like I said, he videotaped it, showed me pictures that were so caring. I was like, wow, wow. We always say, in Buddhism, we don't go around knocking, on doors saying like, hey, have you heard about Buddha? It's just not how we do it, right? It's just like, the Buddha didn't do it like that. People came to him and said, hey, it hurts when I go like this. And the Buddha said, don't go like that. But that's the way that, the Buddha's message came across like that. And this is, in Buddhism, Sangha, we don't go, knocking on doors with pamphlets, but we make wishes. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe from harm. May all beings connect to their, not to the Buddha, but to Buddha, to awakening, to wake up. May all beings somehow connect with that. This is our wishes. And then, look at that opportunity for my neighbors, my friends who, not Buddhist, but just to have that appreciation, respect, and that bodhicitta opening up, not like, I'm not touching that, that's a Buddha. That's that Buddhism thing, I'm Catholic. I didn't have that. Took care of Buddha and recorded and then sent it to me. Bathing the Buddha. So many experiences like that I've had these last few days. I shared that, I lost all my statues, paintings, tankas that I had, books, dharma books, practice texts that I use that I've had for 20 years that I've used to practice. And, it's like, wow, they're gone. It's sad. And then seeing an article in the paper or online that people in the area, even towns pretty far away, have been finding burnt pages on their lawn. Poetry, whatever, And I was like, wow. May the Dharma spread throughout the 10 directions. And if I complained and said, well, this is what you wished for, right? A teacher told me that too. Be careful what you wish for. Be very specific with your wishes. Because the causes and conditions will come together and that wish will come true. But we don't know how. Look how these wishes that I've made in practice formally, and may all beings be happy and safe from harm, may all beings connected to the Buddha Dharma. Okay. And somebody picking up, all compounded things are impermanent. Wow, what is that? Somebody might just toss it, or somebody might go, for somebody it might be, all compounded things are impermanent. So, yeah, makes me smile. I had tons of boxes of incense in my house. Wow. Wow, that thing, all that blessing, all that offering. We put like one stick here. Man, that house was like a... Yeah. So yeah, this is, why does that, because of bodhicitta, because mind is open, so we see that. If your mind is open, you'll see the blessings. If your mind is closed, can't see the blessings, can't see the bright side. It's that song in Monty Python, always look at the bright side of your life. Do-do, do-do, do-do. Always look at that. Yeah, sounds like a cliche, but it's true. If we look and see, if we're relaxed and wide awake, awake at the wheel, and you see, it's always there, they're always there, blessings are always there. Always there. So, I'll read one more verse here, and I'll open it up for you guys. If you have any questions of, did all your clothes burn? Whatever you want to ask. But this quote by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, a Tibetan master, some of you might be familiar with. He was my teacher. He says, struggle as energy. With genuine trust in our being, our life feels quite okay. There is circulation, freshness, and understanding in our system. There is still a sense of struggle in our lives, but as it has become very healthy. It is a learning process, a working process. In fact, such struggle becomes the fuel for the bright, burning flames of our energy. Yeah. So, thank you everyone for letting me share holding the space for me to share, it's very therapeutic. I feel all your love and your support and your thoughts. And sometimes we think, I don't know what to do. I feel so helpless. How do I help? May you be happy and safe from harm. That's it. That's it. One last thing. When I first began to study and practice, we take refuge. In my tradition, we take refuge before every practice. Take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And recite these 4 immeasurables. And my teacher would say, her teacher, this old Tibetan, when people would come to him with difficulties that they're going through in life, he would always say, take refuge. Just take refuge. So my teacher would impart that on us. And for me, in my mind, it was like, okay, recite the prayer, until I reach full awakening. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. The merit resulting from such practices is generosity, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. I memorized that, and that was like, yeah, take refuge, until I reach full awakening. And then, throughout the years, I realized that, it's good to practice like that again, a different recording, going over the old recording. But then it becomes spontaneous, and we take refuge. What have I been doing this whole time? I've been taking refuge. Refuge in the 3 jewels, refuge in the Dharma, refuge in mind, trust in mind. That's the refuge. We don't take refuge in distractions, don't take refuge in, like I mentioned, it is painful, there's moments, but I don't rest there too long. Just for a minute, just like what do they call those when a rest stop. It's just a rest stop and back on the road. Awake at the wheel. So thank you again, everyone, for your practice, for being here. This means much more to me than anything else, that you guys are here cultivating your practice, working with what arises. Right? Working with what arises. In the world, this is what we do. How do we prepare for that? Right here, for 30 minutes on your cushion, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Just rest, whatever. It's a show. Just enjoy the show. Don't pick and choose. Don't grasp, don't push away. This is how we train, as much as we can. And then in the world, it becomes a habit. Becomes a new recording over that old recording. Your house blows up. Where's my cushion? I need to sit. You're already sitting. Mind is relaxed and wide awake. Let's go. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, I'm Robert Lurie with Long Beach Meditation. Your gracious generosity makes this programming possible. If you found this video to be of value, please consider making a donation here. And if you'd like to watch more videos like this one, click here. And if you want to stay up to date with Long Beach Meditation, click here to subscribe. Thank you.